What I have here is a dummy company. Like this is a set of data that I've been working on. So I have some like a short backstory for the company about seasonality, what happened throughout the year. And I also have this set of accounting data. So a chart of accounts, a trial balance, a general ledger showing like the corresponding turnovers for the debit and credit side of each account. I have some breakdowns, revenue by month, revenue by customer, revenue by segment and region. I also have expenses by month and by category, and expenses by category and department. And I also have a full list of like all the journal entries that make up this trial balance. What I want to have Claude try to do is take that and build an entire financial statement. I'm going to run 3 parallel experiments. So I'm going to do it with Opus 4.5, and I'm also going to try it with Sonnet 4.5 because I know that on the cheaper plan, the $20 plan, you don't have a lot of Opus credits. I currently have access to the higher tier, to the max plan, so I'm pretty much running with Opus 4.5 for everything, but I just want to compare how much the difference is essentially. At the same time, I'm also going to do an interesting thing. I'm going to run the same prompt through Claude Code, because I've worked with Claude Code on spreadsheets before, and I think they've silently been updating it, or I guess because it uses Opus 4.5, and this one has gotten better in dealing with spreadsheets. I don't know. I'm gonna run this prompt. I'm gonna go through it real quick. You can skip ahead like 20-30 seconds if you don't want to hear it, but essentially I have 2 files in the folder: the company backstory, which I just showed you, and PCM accounting data, which is the Excel file. This is some background info on the company and a set of financial data for it: a chart of accounts, trial balance, general ledger showing corresponding accounts turnover for each account, revenue and expense breakdowns, and a list of all journal entries from the period. I want you to use this data to create the working sheets for the financial statements of the company. Do some research online and see what a set of financial statements should contain. Example given: income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, various breakdowns, etc. Make sure to include separate sheets for each statement, as well as separate sheets for each financial statement notes working. If there are data points you don't have, for example, prior periods income statement data, leave those as empty cells highlighted in yellow. Make sure to follow best GAAP practices on how to structure the financial statements and notes and what to include. Prioritize trial balance, breakdowns, general ledger, and dig into the journal entries if necessary. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, proceed with the build as new sheets in this file. The reason that I'm giving this prioritization here is that the journal entries is like 10,000 lines. So it's gonna take a lot of work for it to go through and analyze that. So I'm nudging it to use data that's easier to use and more accessible before it has to go that deep. Okay, I'm gonna run that. Start by reading all the data to understand. Yeah, this is gonna take some time reading all the data. So I'm gonna run the same thing in a different file with Sonnet 4.5, and I'm also gonna run it here. Put it into plan mode, which is the big benefit of Claude Code, something that we still don't have in Claude and Excel, but I'm pretty sure it's coming. Now let's see if it's asking us any questions or not yet. Now I have a comprehensive understanding of the data and GAAP requirements. Let me now build out the complete financial statements. Okay, what is it gonna build? Statement of operations, statement of financial position, cash flow statement, statement of stockholders' equity. I didn't mention this one on purpose. Note 1, basis of presentation and significant accounting policies. I don't know if you need to build that in Excel, but okay. Revenue, cost of goods sold, inventory, property, plant, and equipment. I don't know if you have enough information for that. Accounts payable and accrued liabilities, debt, income tax, stockholders' equity, operating expenses, other income expenses. Okay, this is a good start. I wouldn't say, like, for example, depending on the size of the company and the jurisdiction, but for example, IFRS, this is not nearly enough in terms of notes, but a lot of the other notes are like not something that you usually build in Excel. As a whole, I don't expect too much from this experiment. In fact, my expectation, and I want to say it now before it builds it, is my expectation is that we'll get something that is incredibly impressive, gets a lot of things right, but has enough of errors in it to make it hard to find them and hard to figure out. I hope not. I also expect that it's gonna go and use values. I want to see, that's why I didn't say that in the instructions, but then I'm gonna ask it to actually use formulas when it's building everything. And I'm also hoping that it's going to use this chart of accounts mapping here to build the income statement and the balance sheet. But we'll see what it's going to do. Interesting. No questions here. The other one, it's doing what it's going to be building. Oh, where was it? Primary financial statements, note working paper, significant account, preliminary condition, accounts receivable, inventory, PP, accounts payable and accrued liabilities, debt, stockholders' equity, income tax. Oh, this added tax. I don't know. Did the other one add tax? Oh yeah, it added tax. Okay. And then it created the sheets, and now it's building. Okay, Claude Code is gonna take a bit longer. I'm pretty sure about that. One reason is that I'm suffering, like the past week or so, I'm suffering from the common apparently issue on Windows where my terminal literally freezes for a bit, then continues, freezes for a bit, then continues. It's a well-documented issue online, but I haven't seen a resolution so far. The other thing is that while Claude in Excel has direct access to Excel, I assume so, you see here that essentially Claude is using Python libraries like OpenPyXL to be able to load those files because they are like binary files. It's not a CSV and a markdown file or a text file. I'm using Word document, docx, and an XLSX for the Excel file. So I'm expecting this to take a bit longer before it asks me for the plan. Then I'm expecting it to also take longer working through the plan, and but I'm also expecting this to get to a much better result. So we'll see. Okay, it's building. Like, I think both of them ignored that I want those to be, that I want to add those at the beginning. And also something else that I noticed while I was playing with this last night with Claude in Excel is that there has been a silent update. At least when I was recording my initial reactions, there was no Claude lock. And now Claude creates this lock sheet where it starts like typing what it did. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it work because some issue here. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at that. Let it figure it out. This is also something that it's not been great with. Is like when it gets stuck, sometimes it will just keep getting stuck, and you cannot make it continue. While in Claude Code, I think it's much better. It's like, okay, I got stuck doing it that way. I'm not going to retry doing it that way. I'm going to try another way, another way, another way, another way. And it's, I guess, well, it's a much more mature product, but at the end of the day, it's the same model underneath. So I'm not really sure how much more like specific training Claude in Excel has on top of the base models. Anyway, we'll see what each model does. So I'm actually gonna probably skip ahead because I don't want to just sit here and talk to you for like an hour or however long this takes. I really hope that neither Opus nor Sonnet get stuck, because usually if like they get really stuck, usually at least with Claude and Excel, you cannot get them to move on, to continue. So I got like working on large data sets, I got numerous times where it like just restarts the session, and that doesn't remember what it did, how far it got to. It just restarts the session, and it's like brand new, and you have to go in, like clean up what it did so you can run it again, which is quite annoying. Okay, actually, I can't wait for it. My plan was to wait till the end, but so this is Sonnet 4.5. This is supposed to be worse, essentially. So what we have here: product sale, custom manufacturing, total cost of goods sold, gross profit. Yeah, that's completely wrong here. It's like completely wrong. So we'll see. Maybe it will still work on it at some point. I don't know. Like balance sheet is also like messed up. Cash flow also messed up. What else do we have? Revenue, again, quite wrong. Oh yeah, that's nice. It added the aging analysis. It found out that that's an important thing to add, and we don't have data for that. Yeah, there's not even a point like diving deep into the notes if the like the main statements are not fine. Let's see how Opus is doing. It should be doing way better. Okay, see? Yep, 136 million. That's correct. Okay, operating income. Yeah, no, I don't know how much the net income is, but I know it's like in the ballpark of 25 to 30, I think. So this looks potentially correct, but we'll see. Have here balance sheet. Yeah, definitely Opus is so much better at such large, complex tasks. Like I've had Sonnet do quite some stuff in both in Claude Code, also in the Claude and Excel add-in. But yeah, it just Opus is much better. However, you still get some Opus usage on the lower tier, and I don't know how much of actual usage that would be, because in Claude Code it's not a lot. But I think you can use that for like going through like the harder parts or the more complex parts, and use Sonnet for the rest, something like that. Because unless you're able to like significantly improve your work with that, I wouldn't say $100 or even the largest plan, the $200 a month, is worth it. But the cheaper one at $20, it's definitely worth it, even if you only get like just a slight amount, just a small amount of Opus 4.5 tokens. Let's see what's happening here. So okay, so it's searching, it's US GAAP, and I would expect it to assume US GAAP, because in the backstory of the company, we have it like it's explicitly said that it's an American company. So I would expect that. So I'm just gonna leave those work for a bit more, and I'll come back when they're done, and we can take a look. Obviously, we're not gonna check like all the calculations or everything, but we can take a look and see how well they did or how poor they did. Or actually, wait a second. Opus is already resizing columns, which means that it's probably about done after it resizes the columns. Okay. Sonnet 4.5 is actually done, but it's completely messed up. So let's see, what is it grabbing here? Yeah, it's grabbing closing instead of the credit, and it's also grabbing like a fixed asset one for some reason. So I don't think that's salvageable. We can try instructing it and so on and so forth, but yeah, I don't think it will be able to do much better than that. We can try. Like income statement is all messed up. Pulls from balance sheets, accounts, pulls from the wrong columns of the TB. Fix it. Let's see what happens with that. And you see, Opus, like in Claude and Excel, Opus is already done and Claude Code is still running. But I'm expecting that from the beginning because I know that it's working a bit slower now, plus the fact that it's not directly interacting with Excel. It has to use a Python library to work with Excel. But my expectation is, you see, like what I see here, like it's importing adjustments, capex. Okay, it's looking at the journal entry, so it's getting a much better understanding. And by using Python, it's actually much easier for it to like analyze and consume a much larger like amount of data. So yeah, what happened here? Sonnet redid. I don't know why it redid like the titles of the line items, but we'll see. Reapply currency formatting. Yeah, but that's still wrong. I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna give up on Sonnet at this stage. Not that it's not good. You can do a lot with it, but I just wanted to throw like a really hard, complex problem at the models just to push them and see where they go. So yeah. Oh, okay, the formulas look correct, but they're showing 0. The sheet name must have a space instead of underscore. Let me check. No, it doesn't. Oh, no. It's formulas that calculate from general, but they're showing us 0. Let me check what the actual calculated values are. Reading them as CSV, which gives me the compute. No, I'm just gonna stop it. It's gonna go down a rabbit hole. So closing that and back to Opus. So Opus, as we said, the income statement looks about right, like sales is right, and everything else looks reasonable. It highlighted the prior year, which I have to fill in. Something that I think is wrong was said the year ended 2024. I'm pretty sure that all my journal entries are from 25. Yeah, so it messed up here a bit. But other than that, structure looks good. Direct labor, manufacturing overhead. Yeah, I should probably check how it got exactly those. But looking at the values and the structure, it kind of makes sense. So I'm hoping it did something correct. Then the balance sheet. So what do we have here? Cash. Yep, cash ends up like some ridiculous amount. Machinery and equipment. Less accumulated depreciation. Yeah, that's not how I would do it. I know you can do it like that under US GAAP, but I'm pretty sure under IFRS you have to like decrease each of those amounts, because right now I don't know what's the net for buildings and what's the net for machinery and equipment. So IFRS requires you to split the accumulated depreciation. I think so, at least. Yeah, don't quote me on that. So then current liabilities, but see, Opus is just much better. It has much better reasoning, much better understanding, or at least it did much better job Googling and looking at the results. So long-term debt, I don't know, like the bolding is a bit messed up here and there, but that's not a big issue. Total liabilities, okay, that's all I care about for this experiment. So at least it knows that that assets should equal liabilities and equity. Something else that I told you I'm gonna ask it to do. Look at that. It actually linked everything as formulas. I don't like the way it did it. So what I would usually do is I'm gonna go in the trial balance and I'm gonna pull, it's actually already here, account type and category. And I'm going to do a SUMIFs that uses those. Granted, those are not granular enough, so I would add a mapping column and then use that to do SUMIFs. But yeah, well, that's a bit more complex, and as long as it works, I guess. If we're at the point where, well, actually no, wait a second. This is something that we should probably actually rethink. You know what I mean? So I've been using mappings because it saves me time, because I don't have to manually map everything every time. But now, if Opus is smart and fast enough to do it in a couple of minutes, then mapping is kind of irrelevant at this point. Get it? So like if AI can just redo it every time for a fraction of the time, it doesn't need a mapping. Damn, that's yeah. We have to start rethinking how we work because of those tools. First, we have to rethink how we work with those tools. Well, not rethink, but think about how we work with those tools. But then also like our workflows are gonna change because of the tools we now have. So cash flow statement, accounts receivable, why is that a number? I don't know, but at least it highlighted it as a number. So I'm gonna trust it. It probably, like, yeah, it did it a bit, like just added all the accounts, didn't like combine them in liabilities, receivables, and inventory, but at least it included all of them. It adjusted for depreciation and for bad debt expense. So this is simple. Anyone would think of that and do it, but this a lot of people actually forget to adjust. So that's good. Also, it matches, so good enough for my experiment. Stockholders' equity, it also matches, but yeah, I just assumed. Oh no, I didn't assume we have opening balances, but I'm just getting a bit thrown off because it's like it messed up the year. Okay, note one. Oh, it added accounting policies like buildings 4 years, machinery and equipment 10, vehicles 10. Yeah, that's not right, but still, it added some, like, PCM manufacturing company is a manufacturing company engaged in the production and sale of industrial components, consumer products. That's good. It actually took that from the backstory and added it here. So that's good. A good starting point at least. So what else do we have? Note to revenue. Okay, industrial components. Okay, that matches. That matches. That's pretty good. It added the percentages. Revenue by sales channel, revenue by geographic region, top 5 customers by net revenue. Perfect. That's very, very good. And actually this like more detailed breakdown of revenue, I don't know what's the reason for it deciding to add it, but I know that like 4 or 5 years ago it became mandatory under IFRS. So that's a good thing to have. Then cost of goods sold, raw materials, direct labor, manufacturing overhead. Oh, that's good. Total overhead, freight in, purchase discounts, inventory adjustments net, total cost of goods sold. I honestly don't know if that's correct, but at least it looks good. It has a good structure. And if all of those are like links, that makes it much easier to check it and audit it and see if you need to adjust here and there. So 86,112, 86,112. Okay, so I guess it's probably correct. Inventory, yep, it figured out here that it can actually add the prior year because it has the opening balances, but I shouldn't have like highlighted it. Okay, I know that this grew a lot. Like most of the balances grew a lot. Okay, allowance for doubtful accounts. Okay, I don't know why accounts receivable and the allowance for doubtful and debt for doubtful accounts was added to the inventory note. So you have to split that out in its own note. Then PPE. Okay, what do we have? Beginning balance, additions, disposals. Okay, it found the additions. That's good. Then, well, it actually got them from the trial balance. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Then the accumulated depreciation 1589. Yep, that matches the cash flow statement and the income statement. Okay, net change in PPE and depreciation expense allocation, manufacturing, what went to COGS. So that's, oh my God, that's so impressive. Like this has done a great job. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it to do such a good job. Okay, this also, like, those are just breakdowns, so they're kind of easier to do. Debt, okay, chose the debt, equipment financing, because we have paid some loan. Oh my God, that's, yep, scheduled maturities. It flagged that they're not in here and we have to grab them. I'm not gonna look at income tax at all because, yeah, it can't do that. Like, it needs someone to, or it can probably do a tax return, but I can do one, so I don't know how to instruct it to do it. Equity, yep, this makes sense. You don't really need this as a note, at least I don't think so. A breakdown of operating expenses. Oh, that's why it looked through the journal entries. It broke them down way more. That's actually pretty impressive. Other income and expenses, fine, interest, FX, no asset disposals. Okay, so you didn't really have to add that in, but yes, so impressed with this result. Okay, so we have a plan from Claude Code, and it's a very very large plan. And yep, go ahead to it. But while it's working on that, I'm just gonna pop it on my other monitor so I know when it's done. Oh my God, this is like this is so impressive. I'm really impressed. Like, I had this whole like little speech prepared about how it's not there yet, how we still like need to be very cautious, need to have a lot of like human guidance, but apparently it's pretty far ahead. I mean, it's pretty good. And granted, this is not like the most complex company accounting records that you can have, but I'd still argue like 90% of businesses worldwide have less of like data variety to deal with. But but at the same time, the task is quite complex. Like, it requires understanding of how to structure financial statements, of what goes where, of what are the connections between them. And granted, it didn't act like and I didn't ask it to. It didn't act like a detailed checks tab, where it would like check things like okay, depreciation and amortization match between income statement, cash flow statement, and the PPE note. But you can ask it to do that, and it will probably do it. And it will probably come up with checks that I wouldn't think of on the spot. So I gotta say, this is pretty impressive. And I'm assuming if you already have a file, a working file for a set of financial statements from a prior period, and you ask it to update it, it will probably be even better, because here we have to deal with like, it decided to structure it that way. You might want to structure it another way, yada yada yada. But if you already have the structure, and you already have all those like interconnections between your tabs, and I'm pretty sure at this stage Opus can grasp your entire financial statement model and just probably update it for you in one go. Yeah, I'm speechless. Like, let me know what you think, but that's so freaking amazing. And I gotta say, $100 a month, if I'm an accountant, like if I do stuff like that for 50 companies every year, and for 10 every quarter, and for 3 every month, I don't know, I gotta say $100 is like, it's a bargain. It's really cheap to pay that per month to be able to do that. So even someone that's like really good with Excel and has done a lot of financial statements, and I'm not an expert in like financial statements preparation, but I've created my fair share of financial statements over the past like 15 years, and I gotta say, this exercise would probably take me about a day and a half, like a work day of concentrated work. So that's really impressive. And that took how much? Like 10, 15 minutes? And it was running other stuff at the same time. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just impressive. But okay, I'm gonna pause here, and I'm still waiting for like Claude Code is nowhere near done. So I'm just gonna let it run, and I'll be back with you. Oh, for you, no time will pass, but I'll be right back when it's done. So it's been about 35 minutes. It's done finally. So that's what I love about Claude Code. So it went through, it built the whole thing. It saw that there's some discrepancy in the cash flow statement. It started reasoning through what kind of adjustment it should make, what kind it should not. It fixed the code that it uses to generate, and it's pretty much done. Here's the file. So 2 things to note here. First one, as I mentioned, it's not directly interacting with Excel, which is a negative thing for it, for Claude Code. And this results in the second thing, essentially. If you see here, it's writing Python scripts. It's gonna have values instead of formulas. Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, first one to actually color the sheets. So income statement, yep, year is right. Yep, those are all values, but they're still correct. I actually like this format much more than what Claude and Excel did. Income tax, 27, I think it was about that. So there are no like margin percentages calculated here, which Claude and Excel did. Then the balance sheet, it actually used the opening balances to build the prior year. Cash flow statement, did it get it right? 63,479, 63,479. Yep, not a lot of checks here, like no checks. Claude and Excel added checks everywhere. So far, just the formatting is a bit better. But considering that this actually does not use Excel to build this, it creates a huge Python script that then builds this document. It's still very, very impressive. Okay, revenue, like similar stuff, but definitely this one that we built with Claude and Excel is much better. Even if, for example, I didn't think of creating the prior year balance sheet from the opening balances, which Claude Code thought of, because I guess it has better research and reasoning and this planning mode that we did initially. The fact that it first created a detailed plan on how to build everything and then it started building it. That's a huge advantage there, which I'm pretty sure will be coming to Claude and Excel pretty soon. But just for the fact that those are formulas, this wins. Like every time this wins. Formatting is not as good. Well, styling is not as good. I like the other one much better. But it has more checks. It calculated various like margins and things like that. So much preferable, essentially. Okay, so my prediction was pretty much wrong. I thought that none of them will do good and Claude Code will do best because of the planning mode. But I failed to consider the fact that it cannot interact with Excel files directly. It has to do that through a Python library. And don't get me wrong, if I instruct it to replace values with formulas, it will probably do it, especially now that it has like this very detailed Python script that tells it exactly what it's getting for every value. So it will be able to do that. But the fact that it ran for like 45 minutes and Claude and Excel with Opus run for like, I don't know, less than 10, it's pretty impressive and pretty interesting development. I like when I tried Shortcut AI. I was really impressed, but I thought that's like it's a long way, and now it's a short way to getting to a point where you can fully rely on that. And honestly, for like less risky tasks, I would rely on it now. I am like I've had so much interactions with Claude Code that I know how rarely it makes like fundamental mistakes. So I would say as long as it builds models using formulas, it's probably okay to use it even now. But yep, anyway, that was my experiment, which failed as an experiment, but actually proves that that Claude in Excel is extremely powerful, and we should probably start rethinking our workflows to better leverage its capabilities. Okay, I'm thinking about another video actually, because I think if we're gonna have to wait for plan mode, I have an idea on how we can like essentially build our own plan mode within Excel, but I might do a video on it. I just need to flesh it out a bit more in my head. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you found this informational, if not inspirational. And yeah, definitely give Claude in Excel a try. And yep, let me know what you think in the comments. And that's it. Bye.